Yeah.
So we are
Could
going to
be
start
funny.
off here. Mandalorian and Grogu. So if you're in the chat, if you're here right now, and I will put this in the corner I'll put it in the corner when we start to do it. We are going to start off by doing a quick non-spoiler.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and get that ready. So, non-spoiler review.
Non-spoiler
And we're not going to go
review.
deep with this. Just kind of
Okay.
like, what did you think? Would you recommend it? Just general thoughts.
I think if you enjoyed The Mandalorian, this is exactly what you would expect. In the same way that when you go to see a Star Trek movie, and not like J.J. Abrams' Trek, but like original Trek, right? You go to see a Star Trek movie, it's Star Trek, just a movie.
Yeah.
This is The Mandalorian and Grogu, but a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly as advertised. There's no huge surprises as far as the tone.
No.
The tone is pretty much exactly what you expect. As expected, it pulls in some Clone Wars lore, right? Because Filoni loves him some Clone Wars lore. In fact, I think it pulls in lore from the Clone Wars movie. Right?
Look, some,
It
yeah.
brings in a character that we haven't seen since the Clone Wars movie a minute ago.
Yeah. So it does bring in, of course, that's in the trailer, so that's not really a spoiler. We also like things like the dragon snake that's in all the promo stuff. Like that's a Clone War thing brought in from the Clone Wars. So they brought a lot of stuff forward. I know there's a lot of back and forth online about this movie and what it is and what expectations were. And I'm just going to say, like, I really enjoyed this movie. And if you're one of these people out here knocking people for saying the movie was fun, like, what's wrong with you? Like, that's a big part of why we go to movies.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I don't generally go to movies to think. I go to movies to enjoy myself.
No, sometimes we go to movies to get deep, things that are heavier, things like Dune. We go for things that we know are weighty, right? But we also go to movies. It's the reason we go watch Mario movies with our kids. Not because I would go to a Mario movie, and it's not that I didn't enjoy the first movie's really fun, actually a really good movie. The second one is fun, a lot of Easter eggs thrown at the wall, not a lot of plot, but it was still a good time, and the kids had a great time.
Yeah.
Look, Mandalorian and Grogu, they brought tons of stuff in, but I see some people just saying that it's just all Easter eggs, and it's
Nostalgia bait.
It's nostalgia bait. BS, total BS. Like, it's there, but like, have you ever watched a Star Wars movie? Like, just because it calls our lore back up isn't nostalgia bait. It might be nostalgic, but like, it exists in this world.
Right.
And you would be real mad if it existed in this world and pretended it
We
didn't.
never saw it again.
Well, if
Unless
you
it's the Acolyte.
right. So if you pretended that you existed in the Star Wars world, but nothing about it was Star Wars,
Right.
nothing called back, nothing carried over, it's a continuous thing. It's going to have carryover. And I don't feel like there was any point where the movie leaned so heavily on nostalgia that it was not doing its own thing. Now, it's simple. It's straightforward. You're not going to like get new, deep Star Wars lore. You're not, but you're getting,
The last time they really tried to create new deep Star Wars lore, though, it didn't totally land.
No, it didn't. But that's the thing is, there's a lot of people that want every Star Wars to be Empire Strikes Back. And like, while that would be amazing,
It's not really tenable.
I sometimes feel like people forget just how special the OT is. The original trilogy has done things that really nothing short of the Lord of the Rings trilogy has done since. You're talking about a trilogy that changed pop culture. Didn't just change pop culture, it just changed the culture. It changed movie making. It changed the sci-fi and the fantasy genre. Everything is not going to be 1977's Star Wars. And while I wish that were possible,
It's not.
it's not. Now, that being said, I don't mind smaller stories that don't have a galactic impact. I'm a lore person. I'm a character person. Like, this was a good character story for our main character.
Right. Yes, I agree. And it was...
So Hubaldo, it's says it's exciting to see Star Wars in theaters in May. I absolutely agree. I got to go watch this on my birthday for opening day. I love that. You know, the prequels all came out on my birthday weekend. So that was always a fun thing. And even the re-releases would always come out at that time as well. And 49 years of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing that we still sit around. And that's the other thing that shows just how special those movies are, that we sit around and still talk about this.
Yeah.
49 years later. It's Star Wars Day. It's the actual Star Wars Day, y'all. It's May 25th, and it's also Towel Day.
It is.
So I hope you brought your towel and don't panic.
Yeah, it's really funny. So, Iana has now read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, so she periodically has to throw out Hitchhiker's. When we were at the bookstore the other day, she's like, I want a copy that just says "Don't Panic" on the back. I don't want anything else. I just want it to say "Don't Panic." I was like, of course you do. That's the most onward I'm going to have to buy it for, and emboss her, make her a personalized dust jacket that says "Don't Panic."
Look, and we're going to get into some specifics here in a minute, but I mean, obviously there are people that don't love the movie. That's fine. And I'm going to preface all of this by, again, for I don't know how many times since we started doing this, by saying, I am not a movie critic. I don't walk into a theater. I'm qualified to be a movie critic. Given that I have the same degree as a large percentage of movie critics.
Yeah.
But I don't walk into a theater and put my critic hat on. That is not how I take in movies. In fact, often when we used to have access to a theater, I wouldn't even review one at all until I'd seen it twice. We don't have that luxury anymore.
Alas.
But
keep hoping that somebody's going to
I
do
think
something about that.
That says a lot. Of course, we kind of run in this YouTube and Twitter realm where everybody's a movie critic, right? So, but I wish more people would just put on their, their fan hat or their I want to see what this new thing is hat and forget being a critic and just go in and take in the movie.
Just a consumer.
Yeah.
It's like a participant.
Here's the thing. If there's somebody out there, like I said, I'm qualified. I know critique. I know art. If you want to hire me as a movie critic, I'll come do it. Like
until then.
But until then, I'm not a movie critic. I go see things I want to go see. I don't go see everything. I don't often, if I watch something and it's real bad, I'm going to mention it in passing and then I'm going to move on because we tried covering all the things that we really didn't like here. And honestly, it just kind of sucked the fun out of it because that's not why I got into this.
Every once in a while, we'll watch something,
Oh, and I mean, sometimes you're going to watch something like
and then it's like, oh no, we gotta like address how bad this Robin Hood show is.
yeah, things like that
example.
Robin Hood show, The Acolyte. You know, sometimes there's things that like, especially if we say, hey, we're going to watch this thing, like we can't wait, and it comes out and it's bad. We're going to tell you. But like, we didn't keep watching that Robin Hood show.
No.
Even though it got really good views
Yeah.
on our episode,
Yeah.
but whatever.
I don't want to be. I'm not interested in doing things that I hate for views.
Here's the thing, y'all. It's easy enough to be cynical in life without starting off there.
Yes. Some people have a tendency to be cynical anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, I try not to be cynical, but
I
sometimes
didn't used to be
am.
cynical, but I kind of feel like I've maybe turned into a bit of a cynic in my middle age here.
But I think all adults go through phases of cynicism. And I think it's something that we really should push back against in ourselves. But I don't approach my entertainment that way, at least, generally speaking. No. Sometimes there's something that's just obviously going to be a train wreck and you know it.
Sometimes
like
a train wreck can be entertaining.
Narnia stuff.
It's like watching it in slow motion.
Yeah. But the movie. So overall, I would give the movie, I mean, yeah, the movie's going to rank real mid-tier for me, Star Wars wise. I mean, it's going to be ahead of episode 8 and 9.
Alas.
I would say it's right there with Solo, which I don't dislike. Like, and I would even put this above Solo.
Okay.
And I'm not, it's not that I hate it. It's that I like those big epic stories, and that's what everybody's looking for. But honestly, y'all, like, I think that it would do Star Wars some good to, and look, everybody's saying, I'm seeing a lot of people say, we wanted this big epic scale Star Wars story. But then I also see those same people say, man, they should have put that Obi-Wan show in the theaters instead of, it would have been this. It would have been this. It wasn't a big galactic, story. It wasn't galactic. There was no galactic ending event. There's no, I think that it's okay to tell these more personal stories. And at least when they do them for the big screen, we get solid, the visually, it's visually great. The fight scenes, fantastic. I'd say the biggest place that it lacks for me, a lot of people are saying there's no story. I think the story's there. I think that it just doesn't have the broad scope a lot of people expect from a Star Wars movie. But I think for what it is, I think the story's there. I think the weakest point of the whole thing is dialogue.
I mean, that's not shocking.
It's a Star Wars movie.
It's right? And also The Mandalorian has never been super, like, it's never been a talky show.
No.
The
let's
Mandalorian is a fairly taciturn character, and the baby doesn't talk.
Right. All right. So let's from here on, if you're hanging out with us, you haven't seen it, I am going to put up our little spoiler warning down here in the corner. And from here on out, spoilers are fair game.
Consider yourselves warned.
So let's talk dialogue for a minute. So things that I think were weak, I feel like with Rada, with Rada the Hutt, I feel like he just kind of keeps reiterating the same things through his dialogue. He wants to be his own man, and it feels a little video game-ish. you go ask the character a question, but you haven't fulfilled the next part of the. You
Right, so it
haven't
just
done the
says it again.
prerequisite, so he just gives you the same info again. It kind of feels like that at times.
Yeah.
But I didn't dislike the character. And I was a little worried that it was going to look really bad. I didn't think the character looked bad.
Yeah, no. And they didn't overdo the Anzellans.
No, and they have some great lines.
The Anzellans, they, like, here's the thing, that could have been a whole train wreck.
Oh, yeah.
The baby and the Anzellans could have just become just a cute fest. But they really resisted the urge to overdo the Anzellans and the child. So
Yeah.
I feel like that was. I'm sure it took some. I'm sure somebody had to put the brakes on that, because people get going on things and sometimes it just turns into Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
But whoever did the editing, whoever was in charge of striking that balance did a good job.
Yeah, I think Favreau often strikes a good balance with that kind of stuff.
Yes, he understands how to find the funny and the heart.
Yeah.
And honestly, if really I just had to sum up Jon Favreau as a director, he knows how to make things look good, and he knows how to balance the humor and the heart.
Yeah.
Like in his, at least in his family films, that's kind of been his.
Right. I mean,
That was Iron Man. That's Elf. That's been The Mandalorian.
yeah, the movies are generally well balanced. Even Chef, his little indie flick, balances serious and humor well.
Yeah.
He's a really good filmmaker.
Yeah.
And he's also one of these guys that does strive to push filmmaking forward. I think, sometimes I think that's overrated. I know George famously didn't really like The Force Awakens because he felt like it didn't push filmmaking forward. And it's like, and then you kind of look back and you go, yeah, I think at some point it became more about pushing filmmaking forward for him than making a good movie. And I think The Phantom Menace proves that.
Yes, because the thing is, without the Phantom Menace,
And I love The Phantom Menace.
does Lord of the Rings really even happen if Phantom Menace doesn't do all the things it does?
Yeah.
And so maybe it was a necessary sacrifice, but and some beignets.
Yeah.
Chef was a good one.
Chef's a really nice little movie. Again, support indie films.
Yes. We should start hashtag support indie films.
I'm sure it exists.
I'm sure it does. We should start pulling that out whenever I occasionally work on a movie that I actually want to promote.
Right. Travis, welcome to the chat.
How's it going?
Just to be warned, I don't know if you saw the movie yet or not, but we've moved into the spoilery portion of the show here.
That's my spoiler warning.
Oh, very nice. It works really well because your hands aren't red.
It's true. I was. Although they don't look.
It's
that
not really.
red.
Well, it's the lights.
Yes, the lighting. They are.
They're very red.
One of the kids wanted pink hair, so
She has pink hair. Marisha has pink hands.
Yeah. The problem is, when I use rubber gloves, then it pulls their hair and they cry. So,
All right.
Here we are.
So dialogue.
Yeah.
I just feel like I just think the dialogue could have been a little smoother. Now, granted, I'm not really talking about Mando because I feel like we got exactly what we expected from Mando. I just feel like there were some other characters. There were honestly, I kind of hoped there were some characters. I thought we might see more characters, and maybe this is where we get into where maybe it would have been too much nostalgia if we had pulled too many characters from the show in. But there were characters that I was like, I kept thinking we're going to go see some of these other characters.
Yeah.
Or like maybe when he got in trouble there at the end, like
Yes.
maybe it's his friends that show up, not the New Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that Jar Jar was a huge.
Read it out loud for the audio listeners.
So Travis said it's been talked about, but Jar Jar was really the first motion capture character in a mainstream American film, at least. Without that, Smeagol isn't what he is. Completely agree.
And that's the thing, like,
I mean that they were moving the technology forward, but like I said, at
here's the other
times
thing.
George did that at the expense
yes, of
of the story.
But really, how much pushing forward of filmmaking is there to be done right now?
That's the other part of it.
I
Is
mean,
like, and here's the thing: when George
fully
talks
AI movies?
Well, okay, so let's be real clear because some people forget that George said this back in the late '90s or early 2000s. I want to say early 2000s, between the first and second movie, maybe even between the second and third prequel movie. Famously said, and somewhere it's in a Star Wars Insider, it's in one of those articles where they did an interview with him, and he was literally talking about creating live action characters completely in computer. If George was making movies today, he would be at the front of pushing AI down our throats.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's what he wanted to do over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
He wanted to create real characters, real characters with no actors.
God, that's so scary. Like, I know there's a lot of conversations around AI, but man, using a computer to generate like a completely like in what's the word I'm looking for? That like a character that can't be differentiated between a computer generated character and a real person. That is so scary.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not talking about for movies, like whatever, like, okay, so the movie making completely changes, right? If that happens, all of the existent artists are done and it's all computer artists. I mean, it's those sorts of things that happened before, you know, like I'm not so much of a Luddite that I can't, but like, that's absolutely terrifying what you could do to people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you could literally put anyone's face doing anything. Like, so video evidence, like what video evidence? Video evidence no longer admissible because it's, you know, how the hell do you even like that? That's just a whole mind-blowing thing. But yes, I'm glad that he's not doing that.
So Travis said, I loved Din Djarin, but this movie, he felt emotionally disconnected for the majority of it, not even feeling like a dad. He kind of says, says, don't touch that and get out of here. I agree with that to an extent, but we also we just don't see a lot of downtime with those characters in this film. It's always precarious and they're in a bad spot during a lot of this movie, in dangerous places. And you got to remember, like, he is a child, but he's also being raised in a warrior culture. And he's literally out there as a child doing the dangerous things with the Mandalorian. So I don't guess that really stuck out to me as much.
Yeah, and well, like you said, you don't get a whole lot of opportunity to kind of see the warmth, you know, because it's also. I think that was kind of the trade-off with keeping the pacing up, was that you kind of sacrifice some of those more intimate kind of exchanges.
For sure. And that's the same with the next point Travis made. He said, I think any episode of Mando and he's challenged in some way, given vulnerability. While here he was too good for everything around him until the second half, which was my favorite part. Yeah, I mean, I think at the beginning it was like, I think we saw vulnerable moments with him, but at the same time, like, we got to see him. He's been gone for a little while. Like, we haven't had Mando on screen here in a little while. And so it was really nice, especially in that opening scene, just to see him just like wrecking stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's also like,
which is very much how we
up.
saw him.
He's
at
also
the beginning.
sort of, leveled up an awful lot since we first met him.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what he did in the first episode that we saw him.
What?
Just like walked into the bar
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just messed people up.
But yeah, I loved I loved all the stuff with that opening scene. I mean, the opening, gosh, that entire opening sequence is so good. The pacing on it's so good. The fighting all looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
How about Lateef Crowder and what's his name? Wayne. John Wayne's grandson. That's the other guy in the suit. I'm blanking on his first name.
I don't know.
Top billing right under Pedro on the credits.
Oh, yeah, I did notice that.
That's a big
Yeah,
deal, Brendan
Brendan
Wayne.
Wayne,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, that is. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fair.
they're mostly in it, but you still just, I was surprised to see it. Totally,
I was too.
wholly earned.
Wholly
this point.
earned. And how much fighting you think SAG had to do to make that happen?
Yeah.
Because, like, the thing is, they have been really pushing the Pedro Pascal is the Mandalorian. So for them to get billing on the credits right under something changed, like something has changed in the dynamics of what's going on there. And maybe it's just that Kathleen Kennedy's out and that there's a new manager who's,
Yeah, or maybe it was something with the difference between TV and movies and how much of the time they were actually in the suit.
I mean, that's the thing. Like,
because it's mostly them.
yes. And I mean, really, honestly, probably the only time Pedro's there is when they pull the helmet off.
I'm sure. Otherwise, why would he be?
Yeah.
Like-
And honestly, it makes a lot more sense, just money wise, because he's got to be one of the most expensive men in Hollywood right now.
Yeah.
So why would you pay him his rate if you could pay a stuntman rate?
Yeah.
The same stuntman that they've been using the whole time?
Yes. Now there's the other guy, Barry Lewin or whatever his name is, that's done some on the show. I did not see his name mentioned.
Okay.
But honestly, I had never heard of him till we met him at Mississippi Comic Con last year.
He was not a stunt guy. He was basically he was a not. He was like he wasn't a stand-in, but he was I don't even know what maybe technically a stand-in,
He's
a
been
body
in-
double. He was a body double.
Okay.
So, like, a stand-in is not actually on screen, but a body double is. So he was a body double, but not a stuntman.
Okay. I thought he had done some of the stunt stuff too, though, because he was a college gymnast. But
I don't know.
either way, I had never seen his name. I had to go look it up when we met him last year, and
Yeah. All right, that's pretty funny.
what Travis was
Yeah.
comment. Yeah. Travis said, note to strangers, if a stranger who's the son of a crime lord offers to feed blue gummy sharks to your infant son from a jail cell, you should probably say no.
Probably. Like, I think we should probably all acknowledge that, like, while he has the affection, somebody really should call CPS. I'm just saying. I feel like the rebels being like, yeah, sure, yeah, take that kid on your suicide missions. Go have fun.
Right.
It's like this, like, okay, nobody, okay. Who
Now,
cares? Nobody
let's see.
minds.
So let's see. What else do we need to talk about? So, because we haven't covered very much so far. So, I do think bringing the twins, the Hutts, back
Yeah,
in
that was
as
good.
primary antagonists was a good move.
They kind of took him out a little violently too. That was a little surprising. Like that was like,
Now, I'm just gonna say the New Republic kind of sucks. Like, I guess there's a reason they collapse in 30 years. Because they're over here like trying to make deals with the Hutts, like, oh, they're going to play ball now. It's like, okay, like
you should know better.
that's just silly. So that I thought was kind of stupid, but I think makes sense for how inept the New Republic apparently was.
I mean, you look at all the deals that the American government was making in the Middle East in the 70s,
True.
and it's like, oh look,
Yeah.
all the reasons that the whole world's been at war for the past 20 years,
Right.
30 years,
30
however long
years.
it's been now. 25 years.
What did you think about Sigourney Weaver's character? Apparently, the dog's outside.
It's the dog. Okay, I thought it was one of the kids knocking. I was kind of confused. Sigourney Weaver's character. I mean,
Was the character very wooden to you?
Yeah, but
Like, even when she comes in, like when she's just sitting at the bar and she's very, just kind of laid back, straightforward. I was like, but when she comes in the X-Wing and she's still just kind of like,
honey, I think she's in her 80s.
she's in her 70s, but still, point taken. But like, also
I'm like, my guess is she's like, I want to fly an X-Wing, and what are you going to do? Tell her no?
I guess.
That's
It's Sigourney Weaver. I love Sigourney Weaver. I just
Yeah.
like, when I saw it's Sigourney Weaver, I just expected a little more. And
Yeah.
it felt a little phoned in.
okay. I feel like the
I didn't
character's
dislike the
kinda-
character.
Yeah, the
But-
character's just doesn't have a whole lot of dimension, I don't think.
Travis said, Rada was my favorite character, and once the movie becomes about Grogu and his buddies, it really finds its heart and feels like an 80s movie. It actually feels like a payoff for the show. Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. This movie feels very throwback. It actually feels, one of the great things about Star Wars, 1977 Star Wars, was that it harkened back to say there was built-in nostalgia. All the things that it reached back for, Buck Rogers, stuff like that. Your pulpy action adventure, right? So that's what this reaches back for, and it kind of reaches back to the 80s sort of revival of the pulpy action movie
Yeah.
to do it, and I really, really liked that. Yeah, it would have been wonderful, Ubaldo, if Carl Weathers could have still been around for this. I was actually surprised there wasn't there wasn't any kind of tribute to him
Yeah.
in the movie. And
I know that they did on the episodes, like on the the episode that aired after he died, right?
probably, I can't remember. Still, I thought that they would have done something when he went back to the planet, which name I'm going to forget.
I don't remember.
Nora Wexley, Travis, Nora Wexley would have been a really cool choice there, honestly.
Why not?
I didn't love the Aftermath. I take that back. The Aftermath books are a challenge for me because I actually really enjoy the core story. It's the little excerpts from other stories that are like between chapters in there that I just really hated.
Yeah.
Like basically it was like him pitching other ideas or something in between chapters, and was
Yeah.
like, I don't need any of that. Please get it out of there. Yeah, I saw a lot of people complaining. So Travis said on the violence, there's a lot of it, and an overall sleaze to it. People are constantly shot in the head. Civilians implicitly are killed. Rats, birds get shot, and Grogu is called shoulder candy. I've seen a lot of people going, I don't understand why this movie's PG-13. And I'm like, he killed like 50 people in the opening sequence.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like it definitely
if we
is
had
not
just
a
had a
PG
little
movie.
blood, we'd have been R.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of death.
Yeah, a lot of people dying. You know, and it would have been okay with me if they had toned it down a little bit. Like it didn't bother me too much, but I also wouldn't have minded if it would have been a little bit, like I said, especially the end, the snake eating the things, like that was
Oh,
kind
that
of
was
graphic.
great.
Ugh. Ugh.
Just gobbled them right on down. I'm sorry. I just got done watching Daredevil Born Again season 2 and that new Punisher special. So, like, this felt pretty tame. But no, I mean, I didn't have
We
any
also
problem.
didn't take Elijah to see the new Punisher special.
That's true.
Yeah, so
I mean, I watched The Mandalorian for the action. Like, this is Star Wars' action flick more than any other movie, and so I actually appreciate the longer action sequences. But you started to say something.
in general, I honestly like action scenes are usually whenever if I have to like go to the bathroom or something. That's usually when I'm like, all right, I'll come back when this is over. I'm not that interested in it. Unless the choreography is really great, and a couple of these action sequences were really well choreographed. But yeah, you know, like I didn't have strong feelings either way on it. I could take it or leave it.
Cool. So, favorite characters other than Mando and Grogu.
The Anzellans were really fun.
The Anzellans were a lot of fun.
I
for
did
sure.
enjoy the Anzellans.
What'd you think about Imbo, the bounty hunter?
Oh, he was pretty badass.
Yeah.
Did he even say anything?
I mean, I think he said a couple things in a language we couldn't understand.
Yeah. You know, I don't think, but they did a really nice job with the visuals on that. Like the dog was creepy as all get out.
Yeah.
And he was
That was a character I
very
have
menacing.
complained a little bit in the past when they've moved characters from that were created for animation and they've moved them over to live action and they've been a little disappointing in live action. He actually looks even cooler in live action than he did animated.
Yes.
The Dragon Snake did too. So I felt like this was some of the best translating from Filoni's animated world
Yes.
to the live action that we've seen so far.
I felt like it was very like Cad Bane was like you watched it and you were like yes. I felt that the same way about this bounty hunter. He really had he was compelling and he was and it was interesting actually. So Travis says Imbo was cool and I appreciated his level of respect. You get the sense that he's just like Mando but hasn't found his thing to care about yet. And I did get I kind of got that vibe. I was like, you know, like I feel like he's very much I had the same thought, like this is pretty much who Mando was when we met him. He's like, I'm here to do a job, you know, like don't care who pays me to do the job, I'm just doing the job, you know, and he's going to get in and get out, can bring you warm or I can bring you in cold. Like, And so I think that that was an interesting juxtaposition with Din Djarin, because you kind of see who he is now and have that like kind of mirror of who he was when we met him.
Yeah, Grogu changes his entire direction. Travis said, so this is another thing. So one of the things that's going on is I'm seeing a lot of people saying they're in empty theaters. Our theater was probably about 80% full. But Travis said, I had a pretty packed house. Surprisingly, they were largely silent in the first half of the movie. The moment the dog took Denzel and people gasped, and from then on, people were vocal. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear a lot of vocal reactions in our theater, which is a little disappointing for a Star Wars film.
Yeah, it wasn't like,
Well, nothing will ever be like The Phantom Menace was.
Yeah.
That was just a really special moment. I mean, honestly, looking back on it, it's like I like The Phantom Menace fine. But movie going experience, the best I've ever had.
Yeah.
It was re-immersion into Star Wars. I still maintain Phantom Menace tells a great story, even though it does some make some odd decisions along the way.
It gets a little bit Love and Thundery sometimes.
It does.
Like,
it does.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Didn't dial it back. But it's okay.
But man, it was that shared experience, both, and that was the only time I had the experience of lining up, like 12 hours before tickets went on sale.
Yeah.
To get tickets. By the time the second movie came out, we bought our tickets online.
Yeah. Yeah. It's waiting in lines is almost a lost art.
Yeah.
So this is actually this is a really interesting point. The TV that Travis makes here, the TV universe started with Rada. So yes, that's from the Clone Wars movie, which is what I was thinking. He was the first Baby Yoda, only people hated him. This movie for me is about respecting where you come from, even if you're better than what came before. And honestly, like, that's such an important skill for franchises.
Yeah.
Is to be able to like respect the things that came before, and I hope that they will find this place with the sequels, where they can improve on some of the things, some of the decisions that were made. But I think that it's still part of the story, and I think it's still should be handled as such.
Yeah.
And I hope that
that's the thing is I don't like the sequel movies, but I'm not one of the people. Yeah, if Disney came around tomorrow and said, "Hey, we're going to retcon the sequels," I'd say, "Great," but they're not going to do that, and because they're not going to do that, I am accepting of the fact that they are canon. They are what they are. And that's what we're working with now.
Yeah.
But I'm still of the mind. We said before this movie came out, we said this is not the movie that saves Star Wars, that puts Star Wars back on the top of the mountain. We knew that wasn't what this movie was.
No.
I hope that Starfighter can be that, but Starfighter might be more like this. We just don't know yet. And honestly, I think to tell those stories that big, you're going to have to leave the era totally and tell something new.
I think so.
Something new and fresh. And
it may just need to be a minute.
The thing is, this was the first movie in the theater since 2018. It's been a minute.
2019. Yeah, I guess it has been a minute. So this, The Phantom Menace, took us out of the dark times and gave us the feeling I had back in 77 excitement. And honestly, I think a lot of people felt that way when The Force Awakens came out in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite
I don't
the
think
same.
it was quite as intense, but yeah.
It was such an optimistic time.
Yeah. And The Force Awakens gave people reason to hope. The thing is, there were a lot of things to really like about The Force Awakens. And, we just, of course, we kind of have an issue with where they went after that, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the Anzellans were fun. X-Wings, I always love to see X-Wings.
Yeah.
And it was fun seeing all of our, this is kind of the people we've seen in X-Wings through the series. It was some of the directors off of the movies and Dave, and then so it was fun seeing them back in the X-Wings and giving them that little moment. Favreau, I don't know if Favreau put himself anywhere in here that we don't know about yet or not.
I didn't see him.
He was in the show as Paz Vizsla.
Yes.
But we never got him. We didn't really get any other Mandos here, which was, I'd have been okay if the X-Wings and some Mandalorians had come in at the end. But it's, you can't squeeze everything in, and the movie's already a little on the long side for what it is.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
So Travis says the unsung hero is Gittori the fisherman, also a highlight of the movie. Cool character. I've seen some people that didn't like it. Oh, why would he just have this, this anti-venom on? Why don't I don't think it was an anti-venom. I think he just made some sort of medicine.
Well, because he lives in the damn
the swamp.
Like, have you ever met people who live in the swamp? Okay, as somebody from South Louisiana, people who live in the swamp know how to get stuff done.
I did say Paz, right?
I don't remember.
I think I said Paz.
Yeah, Paz Vizsla. He was a Vizsla. He was a Vizsla in the Clone Wars, and then I didn't know he was in Solo.
Yeah, he was.
I don't remember that.
I didn't remember that either.
He was the really big Mandalorian in the show.
Yeah.
He was like way bigger than all the other Mandalorians.
But yeah, John's done quite a few things here.
I mean, he's an actor, so it's not surprising.
But here's the thing. So one of the things that I complain about Star Wars a lot the last 10 years or so is not enough aliens.
And I thought for a minute, I was like, why are they all human? Geez, they're all human.
This movie gave us all the aliens. Zeb, we got to talk about Zeb.
Oh, yeah. They have done Zeb is one that I honestly kind of hoped we'd never see in live action because I just thought it was going to be goofy. Oh, this is fun. One thing I'm glad they didn't say flat out, but is a good headcanon, is that Gittori is a Force user, maybe even a Jedi like Yoda, and in exile, waiting for someone to find him to show the way. I mean, that definitely...
Yeah, I mean...
He's definitely got, like, wise old wizard vibes going.
Yeah. No, I'm all kinds of down for... I know a lot of people are like, oh, another Jedi that survived, and I'm always like, yes, another Jedi that survived. Because I think it's cool, because like I've always liked this idea of like different Jedi with different ideas about where the Jedi went wrong.
Yeah, because clearly at this point,
teaching, and basically different sects of Jedi rather than a singular central temple.
Yep. Which is somebody was bringing up a point the other day about. The Reformation, and kind of, and it's a little bit like if, the religious wars in the 1600s had just wiped out all the Catholics,
Right.
the Ottoman Turks had wiped out all the Catholics, and then you just have the Protestants who were like totally doing things differently, and they're like, okay, where did we go wrong? How do we do? What are we going to do? So it's an interesting kind of dynamic of different ways of looking at
But I love the aliens. Everything looked good. Martin Scorsese. I don't even know the name of Martin Scorsese's character.
Yeah, he was pretty
really
great.
good, really funny. That's not my money. That's your money. I didn't tell you anything. That guy.
Having just done a movie with a whole bunch of Jersey Italians, that's how exactly what being on the movie set is like the whole time. I was like, oh my God, you guys just like let.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Travis, Gattori was a really cool character. I'd be cool with that character showing back up. It's also cool if that's just he was there for the moment. But yeah, I mean, I'm always down to get backstory. I mean, that's classic Star Wars, right? We saw a character, the character was cool, and now we just need to know a little more about him.
Read his book.
I mean, we spent a long time doing that between Return of the Jedi, and because people are like, why do Star Wars fans need to know everything about every character? And it's like, because we had to wait
Right.
for so long for another movie that all we could do was go back to the originals and go, hey, tell us about that character. We need more. Oh, that's awesome, Ubaldo. You'll have to send us a picture in the Discord. I'd like to see them. I don't even know if I saw the pop. Did you see the popcorn tins for this one?
Yeah. I did. I don't know that I saw all of them, but
I didn't realize there were 3. I'm trying to remember what they were. I do remember seeing one of them, but I don't know what.
It was a Baby Yoda. Which is just what I know. He's got a name, but it's just how it's going to be.
I mean, we'll probably be talking about this movie off and on for a little while, and I'm sure we'll go deeper into some themes. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I completely understand where a lot of the people that didn't like it are coming from, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Their expectations were different than mine.
Yeah. I was expecting it to be like The Mandalorian, but a movie, which is exactly what I got.
Yeah. I mean, I went in expecting, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to see more of The Mandalorian, and it would have felt weird to me if it had suddenly been this like huge galactically important thing. It doesn't feel like, I mean, I think you could certainly include him in a story like that, but I don't think it was. I
But
think to
also,
just do that out of the blue.
this
with him
isn't
would have
the
felt
era
weird.
to tell that story. We're between.
Well, they were thinking about it with Thrawn coming back and
That's true.
all that. So
I'm curious to see where all that goes.
well,
now
the
they're-
big crossover, like the Mandoverse movie, I think is on the back burner.
Yeah, but there's a reason.
I think there's a reason. I think they figured out something else they wanted
I
to do
think
instead.
the thing is, Filoni plays a long game.
Well, that's the thing is it's Filoni. At this point, it's Filoni putting his own movie on the back burner.
Yes, exactly.
So it's not like, oh, Lucasfilm killed Filoni's movie. It's Filoni put his own movie on the back burner, which
Yeah.
to me means he's got something else in mind.
Yeah. And I think the thing is, he's waited a long time to bring Thrawn into live action. Like, this is something he's, Thrawn is a character that he's always liked. And he, like, they have specifically not let Timothy Zahn tell a lot of stories because they didn't want to get in the way of potential.
Yeah, that's why
projects
Zahn
during
had to
this
go
era.
tell those Thrawn prequels
Yeah. Which I'm
because
here
they
for.
had flat told him he couldn't tell any more Thrawn stories in the current era,
Yeah.
which he wasn't super thrilled about. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
But I'm like, on the one hand, it's like, well, it's a, he's an important character, and movies like Trump, he's like, yeah, but I created that character, so it's like I could definitely see it from both angles there.
Yeah.
The thing is, he created a really good character. And once you create a really good character for Star Wars, he ain't just yours anymore.
Yeah. So, is there anything else? What else do we need to cover tonight? I mean, like I'm gonna say the movie, like, solid theater experience. The fights are big. They look good on the big screen. Yeah, we didn't see it in IMAX, but we did see it on the nicest screen at our Cinemark.
Yeah.
I thought everything looked really good. I thought the aliens looked fantastic. Sound was fantastic, which I just, that's just something you expect when you walk into a Lucasfilm project.
Yeah.
It's for it to sound good. The music, I really love the music. It's sometimes I wish you would get a little more of the Star Wars motifs brought in there a little bit, but I understand why they're not there. What do you think? So Favreau said that they considered doing a time jump at the end of the movie and showing a no longer child Grogu.
I think they just couldn't come up with a way to make him, like, define that line between cute and creepy. No, I'm serious. Like, have you seen some of the concept art?
Well, I mean, have you ever seen the original Yoda concept art? Speaking of concept art, and of course we've talked about this many times because Zeb was always based on Ralph McQuarrie concept art, but I really love seeing those old Ralph McQuarrie things brought into live action.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, the concept art, the original concept art for Chewbacca became Zeb. And it's really cool to see that stuff.
Ralph
brought in.
McQuarrie and Ian McCaig was the concept artist for the prequels.
What about Doug Chung?
I think he was more of a sequel era guy. He may have done some prequel era, but the main concept artist was Ian McCaig.
Yeah.
He's the one that they told him to draw his worst nightmare for Darth Maul, and whenever they got the picture back, they said, "We want your second worst nightmare." Okay, so he did.
Yeah, Doug Chang started in 1995, so he worked on the
He was the
prequels.
production designer, though. Okay, so he was the production designer. Ian McCaig was the concept artist. They have kind of they do a lot of the same sorts of things, but it's not one for one. Usually, your concept artists are earlier.
Yeah.
They're kind of coming up with like a framework for everybody else to work in.
Right. And, they've got to decide where they want to go in the future with this character. If they do, I mean, like, the character can just sort of disappear to the background because it's a big galaxy.
Yeah.
But I think that's the challenge for them, is figuring out how to move that character forward. Because I think for a lot of people, the Baby Yoda thing has gotten stale.
I still thought it was fun.
I think a lot of people do. I still enjoyed it, but I'm still one of those people that's like, I liked it here, but like at some point we have to figure out how to push this character forward. Like, and we did get to see the character like do some actual tasks this time. Like, he's growing in some ways. Like, we see him looking out for Mando and building the hut and going and finding help. So, we do see that he's becoming more capable. But, like, at some point, we have to actually let him become a character other than not a prop.
Oh, that's fair. But he's such a cute prop.
He is, but you just can't do it forever.
Yeah, that's fair. Original hut artwork. I actually don't know if I've ever seen original hut artwork. Let's see. Ubaldo says it's jaw-dropping. Let's check it out. Original Jabba the Hutt concept art.
I might have to go looking for it because I'm not getting anything coming up here.
Interesting. Oh.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so funny story. He's
Looks like a pig.
so funny story. Jabba the Hutt in A New Hope, the scene that they put back in, because
He says you're a wonderful
he was
human being.
humanoid. Well, he
Right.
was he was more humanoid, and when Han walks
He
around
says you're a
behind,
wonderful human being.
he does, but also when he walks around behind him, he has to step on his tail.
Yeah. I remember as a kid thinking that was hilarious, which is yet further confirmation that he really made those movies for like 12-year-olds because that's
Well, yeah,
about how old I was, and I thought it was just the funniest thing ever. We talked about it a lot and how funny it was.
Anyway, I think that that's probably a good place to wrap us up for the night. I think we could go on, and over time we will definitely go in and maybe do some individual character breakdowns and some theme breakdowns. I think, but overall, like, I mean, are you like how are you? Like, what would you grade this movie, or like?
Oh, I hate doing that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not asking you because we don't do that, but like.
You know, I really enjoyed it. I'd watch it again.
I think that's the big question. Would you go back to the theater and watch it
Yeah,
again?
I'd watch it again if we had a theater here and I didn't
Yeah,
have to spend,
same.
that much money in gas.
Right. If I didn't have to drive
Gas.
180 miles to watch it again.
Gas right now is insulting.
Yeah, especially when
Insulting.
you drive a truck.
Yes, I did notice. I do remember the pig design showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I was like, that does look familiar. So, that's the thing. I was like, no. Like at some point that, your second worst nightmare is that that worst nightmare is definitely going to show up at some point in Star Wars, right? Like,
Yeah. But we're going to wrap up there. Like I said, we'll come back and talk about this some more. I will probably... I've got a friend that's trying to talk me into going to see the movie again, so I'll probably go see it again. And we'll break it down as we get more stuff. I guess the last thing is it had a good weekend. I think about it made about its production budget back on opening weekend, which is solid
domestically or internationally?
globally.
Okay.
So its domestic market was much bigger than its. Now, I haven't looked to see if it opened everywhere overseas yet. It made about its production budget was $165 million. It's made somewhere right in that neighborhood so far. You used to calculate what you needed to get a movie by multiplying it by 2.5. I think as marketing budgets have increased, that number's actually gone up a little bit. It's got to make somewhere between 400.
I still don't understand how you can count marketing on Disney Plus and ABC as marketing budget time, but sure.
Well, I mean, they're marketing in other places.
No, they
too.
are. They are for sure.
But I think the thing, so it needs to make, it's somewhere between $450 million and $600 million it needs to make to break even once you figure it all up. I don't know the exact numbers. I don't know because I don't have those numbers in front of me for theatrical percentages. So you got to make theaters take about 50% of the cut of the take. I think it's technically between 40 and 60, depending on the contract that theater has.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting because I always understood that they pretty much made all their money on concessions.
well, that's what they told you, so they could charge you $10 for a Coke. But it needs to make somewhere between 450 and 600 million. The good things it's got going for it, I know it's got a few it's got probably $30 million in tax credits coming back. It's got and they did a lot of licensing deals with this one. Burger King and some other places. They probably made a good bit of money back. I suspect they covered a large portion of their marketing budget with licensing deals.
Yeah.
So I think it's on track to make money.
Yeah. That'd be good.
And hopefully it's got legs. You know, sometimes they nosedive after the first week, but we are moving first real week of summer.
Yeah, not kids' movies. Kids' movies keep making money, especially during the summertime. People got to do something with
It
those
depends on how
kids.
long they'll leave it.
That's true.
But I think it'll make money. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, merchandise." And Star Wars is not the merchandising juggernaut it used to be. Speaking of someone who spent a lot of money during the prequels, those things, the merchandising, it doesn't even compare. It's basically like one rack of stuff now. And most of it wasn't great. I got a really cool, like, Black Series Mando figure with some of the new gear of the sword and
I
stuff.
want the cups from Burger King.
Yeah, I want the cups from Burger King too. But, you know, I think it's going to make its money back.
Yeah.
But it might be a stretch.
Yeah, we'll see.
But we'll see.
Yep.
So, anyway, that's going to wrap us up for tonight.
Yeah.
You can check us out over on Twitter at sci_fictionary. Go follow us, the Science Fictionary, on Instagram as well. There's, you know, it comes and goes when stuff's going up over there, but we are just a few weeks out from Mississippi Comic-Con, and prep has begun for Dragon Con. So, also, if
so
you're
much
watching
prep.
and you're coming to Dragon Con, you know, hit us up on Twitter or Instagram and let us know you're going to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
But thank you to Ubaldo and Travis for participating over here in the chat. I think we had a few other people in and out as we went that didn't decide to jump in and talk. Don't be shy, jump in and talk. But that's going to do it for tonight. So until next time, may the force be with you.